Well, so the cabin of the Brezza is actually a nice place to be in, and it's got an interesting mix of design. It looks very plush and very good. The plastic quality, well, it's pretty good on top over here, and the center part here with the brown finish also feels quite good to hold. The lower part of the dashboard also, center console rather, is quite good, and it's pretty well bolted together as well. There are no loose bits, as you can see. I'm applying a lot of pressure, but even then it feels very nicely made, so it's quite a well made interior. Lots of features to talk about. Finally, you get a sunroof. A lot of people have been asking about it, and Maruti's finally given it on the Brezza, so that's a very good touch. You also, of course, get a 9-inch touchscreen, and it's quite nice to operate. Apple CarPlay and Auto is part of the kit, and very easy to use. Lots of features, lots of menus to go through, and the good point is that it's also pretty good in terms of the sound quality. The earlier Brezza didn't have a great system from the factory. This, of course, is the top of the line ZXi Plus version. The earlier version didn't have such a great setup, but this one, the sound system is quite good. And of course, you get HUD display, which also is a very good touch, and the only car in this segment to offer you an HUD display, automatic climate control, cruise control, automatic headlamps, multiple airbags are part of the standard kit, as is wireless charging for my mobile phone. And at the moment, you got this setup because we're using the Google Maps, but you can charge your phone wirelessly as well. Seat comfort, just like the last car, is very good, and you just feel nice and plush on these seats. Maruti Suzuki makes the best seats in the business, and the Brezza really has the best seats on any compact SUV. And the best point is the 360-degree camera that you get on this car. There's something which really makes it stand out from a sea of other SUVs, compact SUVs, because this really is a very helpful touch for all of those who are driving the cars for the first time. Well, so let's compare the Hyundai Venue with the Maruti Brezza. Now, in terms of the overall cabin quality, there are no two ways about it that the Venue is slightly ahead. It's marginally ahead in terms of overall quality. And I definitely prefer the rotary knobs over here for the volume controls. The touchscreen is quite easy to operate, but it's a smaller unit. It's not as big. It's not a 9-inch unit like you get on the Brezza, but even then, this is quite a good unit to operate. Seat comfort on both the cars is identical, very similar in terms of seat comfort. You of course get beige fabric over here, which makes the cabin feel nice and airy compared to the Brezza's cabin. In terms of equipment, well, again, it's really neck and neck. The plus point on this car is that you get electrically operated seat for the driver's side, which is really something which you will feel like it's very posh, and you get completely digital gauges over here, which again the Brezza does not get just as yet. So those are two big advantages. Apart from that, the advantage that the Brezza has is that it gets that pop-out HUD display, and other than that, really all the equipment is the same. But again, the overall quality of plastics, the materials, the texture, everything, I think that the Venue has a slight advantage in that department. So who wins the battle of the front seats? Well, I think we should give it a tie, because that car has some features which are more, and this one has a couple of features which are extra as well. So the front end of the cabin is a tie. Let's see who wins the battle of the back seat. Well, so as soon as you step inside the Brezza's back seat, the first thing you'll appreciate is the fact that finally you get AC vents over here now. That's something which was missing, and you also get a couple of charging points. One is USB Type-C, which is very good for new age phone users, and of course the regular USB charger as well, the charger socket rather. You also get almost flat floorboard here. There's a bit of a hump, but it's not too much. So whoever's sitting here has plenty of place to stretch his feet. It's also a generally wide car, so 3 people should easily fit into these seats, and whoever's sitting in the middle will have a lot of place to stretch his feet. Door pockets over here, rather seat pockets, not door pockets over here, and of course 4 kgs of maybe a curry hook over here where you can keep some odds and ends. Maybe you're buying something from the local vendors. Nice and large windows, although the belt line has been raised up slightly, but it's still quite good here as well. Really nice place to be. The seat comfort generally is very good. The backrest angle is absolutely spot on. It's neither to recline, neither to incline. Well, so if you're someone who wants to get the ultimate backseat experience, then in terms of the knee room over here, as you can see, it's okay and it's quite decent, but it's not as good as it is in the Brezza. So the Brezza clearly has the advantage over there, but this car still has the AQI enabled air purifier, which is a very good touch. AC vents as well as a couple of USB charging points, and Type C, not Type A, unlike you get in some other rivals. So it does have its own plus points, but yes, when it comes to the ultimate space in the back, knee room is a little limited in this car, and the Brezza clearly has the advantage over there. The big plus point though is that now you can adjust the backrest of the seats to get a better angle and to sit in whatever way you want to. Like, you can just relax over here, so that also makes the cabin feel a little more comfortable than it is. But yes, if you really are comparing both these cars for sheer space, no two ways about it, the Brezza has the advantage. Now let's quickly see which car has the advantage in the boot department. Well, so let's quickly compare the boots of both these cars. Now, in terms of the overall capacity, the Venue has the advantage, 350 litres compared to 336 of the Brezza. So about 14 litres more in terms of the overall space. And I don't think 14 litres really makes a big difference, because in practicality terms, both the boots are identical. But what you can say, of course, is that if your mother-in-law is coming from a long trip, or she wants to stay with you, then maybe her small handbag, an extra handbag if she's carrying that, might just fit into this boot. Other than that, really not a big advantage. But definitely on paper, in terms of capacity, the Venue has the edge over the Brezza. Now let's jump inside and drive these cars and then tell you which one you should buy. Well, so here I am driving the new Brezza now. I have to say that this has always been a good car to drive, and the new version is even better. The best part about this car, of course, is the creamy petrol engine. It's the same 1.5 and it makes 104 bhp. The ride quality seems to have been improved even further. The earlier car had very good ride quality, and this one, it seems to have gone a notch up. It just sticks to the road like a leash. It feels very confidence inspiring and definitely a lot more stable than your last girlfriend. We're on the highway right now. We're driving outside Chennai. And as you could have seen from the footage, we're driving on a very nice road, but even then, it feels very flat in terms of the ride quality. It feels very confidence inspiring, and even when doing speeds of about 100 kph, the car felt very stable and really gave you a sense of stability. Even in the city, when you're driving at slow city speeds and you have to maneuver over those potholes, those badly patched up roads, and some of those sharp crevices, the car remains very comfortable. I think now the Brezza is the best car in terms of overall ride comfort in this segment. Well, but the ride comfort is not at the cost of handling prowess. Yes, this car feels very dynamic even in terms of the handling, and Maruti engineers have always been the masters of getting the balance right in the ride comfort as well as the handling and agility department. And this car feels light on its feet, it feels very agile, and if you want to push it into corners, it does really dive well into corners. When you use this very accurate steering wheel, it really feels very communicative and very agile, and all these things make it a good car for people who enjoy driving, who like driving. So it's a good car for people who call themselves keen drivers as well. Now, the current version we're driving comes with a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Yes, the 4-speed unit is gone, and now you got a 6-speed unit. And I have to say that the extra 2 gears compared to the older version definitely give the engine a lot of flexibility, and that's a great thing for the highway use, because when you're doing speeds in excess of 80 or 90 kph, which are legal speeds on most highways, the engine is spinning at a relatively low 1500, 1600 rpm, and that makes the cabin feel very quiet and very well isolated from everything outside. That's not all. You also get paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which is a very good touch, and the gears really do change instantly when you hit the paddle shifter here. And it's not just a gimmick, it's not something they've put just for the sake of it. It really does work very well. There's no lag in the gear shifts, and this gearbox really is a fantastic unit. I think it's one of the best automatic torque converter gearboxes out there around for this price point. What you'll also enjoy is the very peppy, very punchy petrol engine. It's only got 104 bhp compared to some other rivals who are turbocharged. They have a little more power. Well, so let's quickly compare the Hyundai Venue with the Brezza. Now, both these cars have their own strengths and weaknesses. The big positive, of course, of the Venue is the fact that you can choose from a host of different gearboxes. You can choose from a host of different engines as well. There's a diesel 1.5, there's a 1.2 base petrol, and there's a turbo petrol 120 bhp. And today we'll compare the turbo petrol because it's very close in terms of the power output to the Brezza. This one makes 120 bhp, that makes 104, so it's more powerful than the Brezza. And this really is the one to go for if you want to call yourself a keen, enthusiastic driver. Then this is the car you should choose. It's got good handling, very agile chassis, and it's also got very nimble controls because everything is really light. The gearbox is light on this car. It of course gets IMT as well as 7-speed DCT options. The steering wheel is really nice and light, and the visibility all across is excellent. Yes, the steering is a little overtly light, so some people who are keen drivers might say, well, I want some more feedback in it. But to be honest, people who drive a lot in the city will really appreciate this steering wheel because you don't need to put in a lot of effort in this steering wheel to use it. So that's a big positive for a lot of people who drive within city limits. What's also good is the slow city ride. Yes, this car really does soak in the bumps quite well. At slow city speeds, it's only at faster speeds that the Brezza has the big advantage because that car feels a little more stable, better planted. This one feels a little light. So if you are someone who drives a lot at 120, 130 kph on a regular basis, then of course you'll have to choose that car because it isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but just a small advantage lies with the Maruti Suzuki Brezza over there. Other than that, what else is there about the engine? Performance is really peppy. It really does love to rev. It's a 3-cylinder unit, but it's very refined, very good. So there's hardly any to choose between these two cars when it comes to pure refinement. And the gearbox, as I said, is light. You also have a 7-speed DCT option, which really does work very well and feels very nice to operate on this car, and a very slick unit as well. Visibility is good, as is the overall refinement which I just mentioned. So who should win the battle of the driving bits? Well, it really depends on what you want. If you want a relaxed car, if you want a car which drives on the highway a long time, then definitely the Brezza is a good option. But if you want a peppy performer, if you want a car which has a turbo engine on it and a car which offers you great power, then the Venue is your choice. So really, it really depends on what you're looking for. A lot of people, personality-wise, choose the Brezza. A lot of people, personality-wise, choose this car. I'll stop the cars now. You can make your buying decision, but I will give you a score sheet at the end of the video review. You can compare the scores and then make a decision. So bye for now, and thanks so much for watching.